He is here. He's the man, the myth, the legend. What's good, RHMax? How you doing?
Everything's good, Corey. Everything's good.
It's a fantastic day. What's up?
Corey, you're so excited right now. You might just stake Hex today. Is that right?
Yeah, I may.
Say yes, Corey. Say yes. The
maybe
right
one.
answer.
Maybe one.
Maybe 1 for 5555.
1 for 5555.
You never know. I'm excited, man.
Up?
It's been great. It's I can't tell if it's just the elation of the glory on the horizon. That's this dream that we may not get, no expectations, but it's one of those times I'm the measured guy, right? I try not to be I'm not the hopium channel. I'm not the guy you come to and tell you it's going to be okay. Yeah, I'm the guy who's like, here's the facts. Here's what I'm excited about. Here's what I like. But recently, there's been no shortage of just, man, it feels good to see some of those bullish news I've seen for years in this ecosystem. And
absolutely.
If you're not paying attention now, I don't know what you're doing.
What's up?
I said, and if you're not paying attention now, I don't know what people are doing.
Yeah, I got to pay attention myself. I mean, I got a completely different sentiment from last month. As you guys remember, I change on the dime when it comes to emotions, like a 14-year-old kid. It's all right. It do be like that sometimes. But what a complete change of sentiment, even from my own perspective over the last month, the last time you had me on. There's a lot of things to discuss. And the first thing I want to discuss with you, you being here from the beginning. Some people maybe in my stream were not. I was not here from the beginning. What is the significance surrounding Godwell returning back to social media and the PulseChain ecosystem?
Dude, he followed me yesterday. I was talking to Ben yesterday. I see he liked one of the tweets, the hostage video tweet. Yes. That what's his name made, the guy who makes all the awesome videos. And then I saw that somebody posted it, and then he followed me. I'm like, wow, he only has like 50 people he follows. So I was honored. I was surprised. I was like, all right, awesome. So just the interactions like that I've seen him make around the community. And now we see, everyone's got his wallets are on all the popular websites and Hex Scout and Fatty and everything. You can see the movements and things that are happening. And I mean, this is a guy, again, Godwell, he's the guy who he can't get out like anytime soon. Like he's like the guy who's like fully aligned for this thing to grow and be massively successful, if nothing else, for his own ability to, extract liquidity, sell when he needs to and all that stuff. Because right now he can't. And that's majorly bullish in an early ecosystem like our own. And for him, it's one of those things like he needs this thing to work. This billionaire crypto guy who we all love needs this thing to work. Who else do you want on your side? We already got genius billionaire founder guy. Now we got, or we've had forever, the Godwell, who's billionaire guy. I don't know if he's a genius or not, but and certainly he's got a lot of good attributes that I like so far. So we'll see, man. I just saw somebody tweeted about him bridging 6 million over the PulseChain. So not only does he have coins in the ecosystem, he's like a hex trillionaire, billionaire, whatever, depending on the price, and all kinds of, SAC for PulseChain and all these different stuff too, and different ecosystem projects. He's now bridging over from Ethereum. I didn't look exactly what it was or anything yet, but it's like moves are happening. And yes. I just can't underrate that. I don't understand how anyone could not look at this and be like, is there, okay, maybe that's the question too. Will we look back on this? Will we look back at January 24, which I totally thought was going to be boring. I didn't expect anything to happen. I expect SEC stuff to happen. I expect these moves to start happening, the benevolent wealth stuff that happened in early December that we, found out about early January. None of this stuff, I didn't really care about January 2024. I was looking further in the year and otherwise. But are we going to look back at this later on and be like, that's when it all started. That's when everything kicked off. That's when the ecosystem, just could not stop, won't stop, just went forever, and got to glory. Will we say that? I don't know. It's looking good though.
I agree. I was expecting to make more angry memes this month, and that isn't happening. So that's a good thing. No, I honestly did not expect anything to come of this month. I will say, though, I did have somebody on. I forgot who it was exactly. It was, I think it was last week or the week before last which segues me into my next topic is there have been a small amount of people that have known that the SAC addresses have been bridging over to buy funds over the last month-ish. And only the last week and a half have people actually discovered this. I remember I figured it out from a guy on Twitter. I forgot his name exactly. And then it just spread like wildfire. And then I think that as a result culminated in a increase in confidence. And as a result of that,
removal of uncertainty. That's the thing. It's not even confidence. It's just like the cloud kind of just like faded. Oh, well, actually, look at this other cloud. This is a much more beautiful cloud with sunshine coming through, that kind of thing.
But that's a good thing because like here's the thing, like a lot of people said that no, but the SEC debacle and the uncertainty really did suppress the price, in my opinion. And now with confidence and certainty, not certainty, but confidence, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that leads me to ask you this, RHMax, is that it appears that SAC addresses have been buying PulseChain, Hex, and PulseX for the last month-ish. Do you think this was planned, and why is this development so important for new people?
Was it planned? I mean, it's kind of like almost, I don't know what case you can make against it being this kind of master plan, if you will, by whoever controls the funds, whatever entity, company, person, or otherwise. I mean, not just the only person or entity who has a lot of funds in the ecosystem too, you know, like we talked about Godwell and otherwise. But I think anything that's involves, you know, Richard or otherwise is going to be, I speculate, there's, you know, I always think there's like this war room where they have all these whiteboards and he's like figuring all this stuff out and they got the dates and they're like changing and they're, oh, okay, at this point. And, you know, some people may look at, oh, look at the centralization, look at this stuff. Listen, whoever is promoting and buying stuff in the ecosystem or selling stuff in the ecosystem, like people have been doing forever too, not our benevolent wells, thankfully, but a lot of other people, whatever people are doing in the ecosystem. You know, I like the tweet that Dipcatcher had the other day. It's like, there's no such thing as market manipulation. So if you just take that at face value, if you take it at face value, you're like, people who control assets should be able to do whatever they want with those assets. So if you just think of it at a pure basic level, I know there's all these exceptions and caveats and all this stuff, but at a pure level, whoever people are who have a lot of assets in the ecosystem and whatever they're doing with it, whether they're benevolent or whether they want to see this thing go to zero, they should be and have been doing whatever they want, and they will continue to do so as long as we live in a free country. I guess I'll preface it with that. So we've seen a lot of selling. Now we're seeing some buying. Where it comes from, I don't care where it comes from. It comes from the moon. It comes from a dog. It comes from some entity that loves us. I don't care. It's happening. And that if someone were to plan such a thing out for glory, for taking care of the people that love them, you know, that sort of thing, the community that's been here forever, and still here. And God bless you if you're still here, by the way. A lot of people aren't. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. But if you're still here and, you know, you haven't sold everything and you still got skin in the game and you're still out there promoting things and with us on the journey, that's amazing. First of all, it's funny enough an achievement at this point. And again, like whoever's buying and promoting this stuff, we can only hope that they have our best intentions. And if they have everything planned out for a road to glory, trip to the moon, past Mars, past Uranus, saying hello to Pluto, who knows when and if that'll ever happen. But if they do, I certainly think the ecosystem will be happy with that.
And I agree, because you're starting to see, like, this was a recent development as well about 2 hours ago. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gary Cardone. Gary Cardone has been, you know, a very big advocate for Bitcoin. He's the brother of real estate mogul Grant Cardone. I actually have 10Xers Grant Cardone sticker right above here.
He's got a lot of good content, books and stuff too.
Yes, he has. I actually have his book. Read it. It was pretty good. It was really good. It was short, which I like. So Gary, I think a gentleman by the name of Hexter brought up, thank you, sweet horsey. He brought up, maybe you should pay attention to the RH ecosystem. He's a guy named Hexter. He comes into my stream a lot. He's a good guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to bridge in $1 million to the RH ecosystem. He basically said something along the lines of like something with Bitcoin or something like that.
He didn't like the decentralization. I think he said, I'm buying, I'll put $1 million buy or bridge or something in the ecosystem.
Yeah, something like that. And then because I interviewed him a while ago, this was, you know, talking probably almost a year ago now. And I messaged him about 45 minutes ago and said, welcome to the community, man. And he saw it. So he's clearly looking. You know, it may be sarcasm, it may not be, who knows. The fact that he's even talking about it, again, somebody doesn't have to go through with something as long as they're talking about it. I don't care who says it. I don't care what influencer engagement farms, even if whether it's good, if it's good, I don't care. But that's another recent development.
Yeah. I don't see the downside in
Neither do I.
famous accounts saying positive things about our ecosystem, whether they do what they're going to say or not. They're mentioning it. People are seeing that. You can see the people who, the famous accounts, people have tons and tons of followers.
Yep.
You know, they don't need to use hashtags. Like,
Nope.
a lot of times we need to use hashtags to get the numbers up, to get people searching for stuff and all that. But if you got 100K followers, you got 20K followers or 50K or whatever, a lot of people are listening to you because you are you. And they're looking, and their feed is tailored to see things that you're talking about. So if Gary Cardone is saying nice things about our ecosystem, whether he does it or not, that's positive for us. So like, this positiveness that's getting out to the people that, you know, like him and see his stuff. And yeah, I think that was incredible. So I encourage everyone, if you see famous people having problems with crypto, and you know of an ecosystem that can solve some of those problems for them, or, you know, that kind of thing, if you got a solution for them, feel free to hit them up with their ecosystem in a nice, respectful, polite way. You know, all that. Just make sure you do it in a good way to make us look good, and not the other way around.
Thank you very much. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it's very important to, I think KG says it the best. Don't hurt them, convert them. I think that's a very, it's a very positive way to say it. And I do want to bring up something that you referenced before. And by the way, it's amazing how many people are showing up right now. I'm looking because I have horrible vision. There's 20 people watching on Twitter, and there's 127 in here right now. So guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to donate to the channel through the through super chats and super likes if you can. Make sure to subscribe to RHMax on YouTube. I have his link in the description. And also make sure to follow RHMax on Twitter. I have his link in the description. So let me ask you this. One of the biggest news we saw, and you referenced it before, was the $6 million that has inflowed into PulseChain in the last day. What exactly is going on? You brought up Godwell.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing too, maybe I could share my screen for a minute too, and just show. Yeah, I'll preface it with: there's bridging, there's buys, there's benevolent whales who are doing benevolent things, you know, appearing to do benevolent things for our ecosystem, and it all kind of kicked off. I guess after the cat was out of the bag a few days ago, we saw the information come out about it. But this stuff's been happening, you know, like we talked about earlier, since early December, that kind of time frame. That's the earliest that I've heard or seen or know people talking about.
Yes.
So it's been going on for a few weeks. It finally, you know, came out. Once it came out, I've heard so many people that I respect and listen to for not financial advice talk about how, hey, go time. Hey, this is very super bullish. Hey, this is the stuff that, you know, was unexpected. But it's very, very good for the ecosystem. And are we, you know, everyone's complaining, oh, we're not correlated. Look at everything else. And, you know, Bitcoin's been going up forever. Ethereum, look at all, Solana did all this 10x. You know, Hex Bitcoin or Hex and the PulseChain, they're not doing anything. Like, why are we not correlated? We want to be correlated. What if we're not correlated and everything else, you know, people speculate in the next few months. I have no idea, but I've heard people speculate that, you know, some chop sideways, not sure what's going to happen with Bitcoin. The halvening maybe kicks off the real bull run, or however you want to call it. What if we get green candles while everything else isn't? How That's good right. Promotion is that, right? Right. So there's a silver lining to these things. It's not like we're not just making up this copium stuff. There are real silver linings to being correlated and being decorrelated. So if we are, no matter what happens, whether we are or not, the things that have been happening recently scream bullish. I don't know how to say it. They scream bullish. If you're not like happy about seeing the infinite buys we've seen from Whale Hex recently on the Twitter account, which I'm going to pull up in a second, I don't know what you're going to be happy with.
I got that account on notifications on.
Dude, I think I should. On. I haven't yet, but I think I should. But yeah, give me
people in here.
Yeah, Corey, you want to talk to him for a second? I'll
go ahead. Yeah, guys. It's just amazing to me because, like, I was even complaining about it for a while, watching every coin go up substantially. But, like, if you look at the statistics now, I mean, I was, you know, damn wrong, and I'm happy to admit that. Holy shit. PulseX has gone up from its bottom, which was 0.0000. I don't know how many zeros, but I'm just going to say it was 1, 0.000001, and now it's 2x that. PulseChain's bottom was 0.00003 something, and now it's back at sack rate. I'm sorry. P-hex is 1.7 cents. E-hex is 1.1 cent. So now we're at a cumulative 3 cents. Incentive token went from 50 cents to $1.30 or $1.20, I think. And the reason why it's a big deal is because, in my opinion, ink was meant to be sold, and it still has positive price appreciation, which is refreshing to see. So yeah, exactly. PulseX is more than 3x up, more like 3.3x, something like that. So this is all big news, and also the community is showing up now. Like, I'm starting to see like the major influencers on Twitter, because for a time period, Richard Hart's tweet engagement was going down. Like, he was getting 1.5 to about 2.5K likes and retweets, and now it's up to like 3 to 5 again. And if you guys look at his Twitter account, it went from 330,000 or 331,000 followers. Now he's closing in on 340K. That's a big deal. That 10K followers have happened in the last 2 weeks. That's a very big deal to say. That's a very big culminating event that people have eyes on this. Thank you so much, Ron, $10. Thank you so much, Fast Abdul. The de-reckoning is upon us. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Fast Abdul, for that. And Sweet Aussie, I agree. Richard Hart's comments are now open, which says something in my opinion. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but he has a dream team of lawyers. But there's something I want to share with you guys on this stream. Do you guys know who Nuclear Herbs is? If you guys don't know who that is, he is basically the educator, the educator of everything that's going on with the RH court case on Twitter. I will be having him on his first interview next week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
I will
awesome,
be having,
man.
yeah.
I've been wondering when he was ever going to come on. So
yep, if nothing changes, I'm going to have him on next week so everyone actually knows what the hell is going on. So we're going to do that. That'll be good as well. So
awesome.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, I just wanted to share too. So I'll put this link in the chat. Yes, people are asking for it, of course. This is from WellPulse. So there's WellHex and WellPulse. And if you're not following either one, you should probably follow both if you're interested in information on Hex stuff happening, on Pulse bridging happening, or sales or big buys. They follow all the big stuff happening, all the interesting things. They probably got some thing that shows at a certain amount, post it automatically, or maybe they curate it. Anyways, I'm just searching from WellPulse, and we can see for days now. I mean, over the last few days, we just see, 1.9 million USDT bridged to PulseChain, 1.9 million USDC bridged to PulseChain, 200K DAI, all these smaller DAI amounts, small as in only hundreds of thousands of dollars, not in the. And then we got 2.4 million 15 hours ago, 2.4 million DAI from Ethereum bridged to PulseChain. So if we look at the bridge numbers, we're going to go Pulse and then look at the bridge. This was, I did a tweet about this. It was like a month or two ago, or maybe 6 weeks ago. This was like 80K. We had around 80K. So in just, let's say 5 6 weeks, we've had, I mean, if you did the math there, that'd be like 26K, let's say 30K or $30 million bridging the PulseChain. We got stuff bridging out the PulseChain or out of PulseChain, but PulseChain assets, we got $5 million of Pulse sitting on Ethereum. So, that's just basically to get more attention, more, hey, there's these coins on other chains, get people seeing that. Even if you're on Ethereum, there's millions of dollars in PulseChain coins out there. But the bridge itself has been doing so well in the last few days. And these big amounts, again, this is what if you were to ask someone, I ask people all the time, what do we need to see? Over the last few months, I've been asking all kinds of different people on the show, what do we need to see for good news? What do we need to see for to know if the bull run's here? What do we need to see for momentum and good news and for people to feel good about price going up, all this stuff? One of the things that's common across a lot of people is getting millions of dollars bridged into PulseChain. Somebody's talked about it a lot too. Hey, we need like so much. If we want a PulseChain to go to a penny, we need so many $1 million or $1 billion on the bridge, all this stuff. Over the last few days, you can see millions of dollars come in here. Now, does it slow down? Does it keep going? I don't know. If you follow the momentum, you think, well, maybe it keeps going. Like, what would make it slow down? I would ask that question. What would, now that, the I don't want to say hornet's nest has been kicked. What's the positive analogy? Now that the money tree's been shaken, I don't know, like whatever is happening, people are starting to pay attention. Again, we got influencers and stuff talking about us more. Richard's back, as you said, turn comments on. That's what I kind of thought about the SEC stuff too, was,
yes,
what if we look back on this and think, okay, that was the moment. That was part of the plan. That was the thing where he just wanted to, put everything together, make sure we had time to make the response, put it out there. Incredible defense, incredible motion to dismiss. And then he's free to talk again. And then he's free to promote and do whatever he wants again in the ecosystem. Maybe that's what was happening this whole time. Maybe we'll look back and it'll be obvious in hindsight. But like all this money coming on the bridge.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And I just want to give a highlight. I just want to give a highlight to Too Spooky. Thank you so much. You're always very generous on this channel. It even says, let's celebrate their 20th super chat. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You can't turn an orange into a security. An orange is an orange, Richard Hart. And I just want to highlight to Too Spooky, congratulations to him and his movement with HOA. I think HOA has been a phenomenal community that has really facilitated a lot of growth between different blockchain ecosystems, whether it be through NFTs, whether it be through the meme coin paradigm. So I got to give Tang Gang credit where credit is due. They're an amazing community. They've done a lot. They've overcome a lot of obstacles, and I think they just hit an all-time high. So congratulations to the Tang Gang, and thank you so much to Spooky for the $20 super chat. But I agree 10,000%. Like, you're seeing these inflows in. Like, we haven't seen $100 million in the bridge in God knows how long. We haven't seen SAC prices. It's hard to believe that PulseChain came out of May of last year. And it's like, now it's like SAC prices we haven't seen. Even PulseX. And listen, like, I've been very critical about PulseX not having limit orders, not having single-sided staking, not having those type of features. And it's proving to me that, and this is a legitimate question I want to ask you. I was actually going to ask this last, but I'm going to ask this now. Is we're seeing the bridge go back to inflows that we haven't seen in quite some time. So you just highlighted that. Does this prove, because maybe I was wrong on this, does this prove, and I'm being serious, I may be wrong on this, does this prove that once green candles arrive, anybody will do anything to become involved in an ecosystem, even if it is complex and requires numerous leaps and bounds to participate? So, like, I guess what I'm asking is, because I was very critical about only having, a bridge to get into PulseChain and PulseX and Hex, but I guess does green candles prove the point that people will do their very best to get into something if they, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the position I've taken the last few months has been, assuming there is no green candles, how do we get people in? I've created a bunch of onboarding material. I have a whole playlist on the channel. Just lots of different, go real DeFis to help everything be easier to communicate with the apps and the IPFS stuff. The entire time I was assuming we're not going to get green candles for a while. I take that assumption and I go build stuff. I go, still promote and talk and all this stuff. However, that's where everything changed. When we actually got green candles, now that we've been building in the background, 2023 was a huge build year. A lot of products launched, a lot of pieces changed around the ecosystem. Again, IPFS stuff made it worse for onboarding, but more for decentralization. That was a trade-off that was made. We dealt with it. We tried to make it as easy as possible. But for people, when they see green candles, that is the thing that they want in, right? Before, how do you get people into Hex and PulseChain? You tell them about Hex. You tell them how it's a great product. You tell them about the idea, how you can lock it up. You can earn more over time. You can just, all the different technique, game theory and stuff around it. You tell them about PulseChain, how it's a better Ethereum. You can cheaply transact here, all the stuff. PulseX, hey, Premier Dex, it's, got farming and all this stuff going on. You tell them the story that makes them interested.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest difference. You get them interested. But if you're interested in something, what propels you to go take action?
Desire.
Where does desire come from?
That's a good question. The innate human instinct to garner the acquisition of either wealth, knowledge, pleasure, power, stability, security, growth, euphoria, dopamine.
Very, very acceptable answer. Yes, very acceptable answer.
Thank you.
They know, or at least they believe they're going to get something out of it. Their action is going to result in something. Now, when everything's red and all that stuff, they're like, well, maybe in the future, I don't know. People see green candles. They're like, hey, what if the thing keeps going up? What if they, what if there is momentum? What all this stuff? So anyways, it makes people take action a lot sooner. So again, I wasn't planning for this. A lot of people perhaps weren't. We were trying to set it up. One, when there were green candles, we can actually funnel people in as quickly as possible to get them in. Greatest ecosystem on earth. And two, there's no green candles to talk about. So we have to, make do with what we have. We didn't have them back then. So we had to do the best we could without them. But now that they're here, everything's just so much easier. And I'm glad we didn't rely on that before. I think that helped us build a lot of things that just really, I'm hoping will help us onboard a lot more people a lot easier. But yeah, people, when they smell money and they see a happy community, they're all more likely to come in.
Very well said. And I think Johnny says it right on the head. What's up, Johnny Chaos? How you doing, man? Guys, subscribe to Johnny Chaos's YouTube and subscribe to his follow his Twitter if you have not yet. I'm sure all of you have, but if you haven't, please do. He makes a very good point. People will download 200 wallets for a $2 airdrop. FOMO isn't rational. And I agree with that 100,000% because we realize that, like, for example, right now, like I was completely wrong, and I will say that humbly, that like I was under the assumption that PulseChain and PulseX needed numerous centralized exchanges. Now, I'm not going back on the idea that I think that PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex having numerous centralized exchanges would be a net benefit for exposure for those who don't want to go the decentralization route and use IPFS things that they're not that well adept to get into Hex or PulseChain. Maybe familiarity comes from their legacy finance background or something like that, and they want to stay in the centralized paradigm here with exchanges. Yeah. So only time will tell on that, but it's proving to me that green candles are literally, it doesn't matter. Once green candles come, people will find a way anyhow, anyway. Yeah. And
I mean,
go ahead.
Undoubtedly, centralized exchanges make it easier on board. Like that's the whole problem is we're gate kept so hard. I did a stream called Fixing PulseChain. You can search for RHMax Fixing PulseChain, where I outline a bunch of stuff. And I really try to break down what is the problem? Why is onboarding so hard? And it is the gatekeeping. It is the lack of centralized exchanges. And again, you can say, well, we're real DeFi. We want people to do it this way. Yes, we do. But is it better that they never come at all? If like I think priority is they get in the ecosystem and then we can teach them about real DeFi. But if they never come in the first place, how can we teach them? So even though my heart says, yes, I want everyone to learn how to use a wallet, they hold their own keys, they use real DeFi, all this stuff, trustless yield. I also want them to come here and see how amazing it is and give them incentive to learn how to do that. And if that comes, however that comes through, fiat, on-ramps, exchanges, whatever it is, I think, it's just what you prioritize. If you prioritize getting the most people in,
yes,
then that centralized exchanges are a thing that it's necessary evil, right? One of those things.
I agree.
So that's why it's so hard. But that is why, because we don't have this. You can't go to Coinbase and buy Hex. You can't go to Coinbase and buy PulseChain.
I agree.
So you have to teach them. You have to do these tutorials. I have like 20 different videos on the channel of how to do all these different things in Hex and PulseChain when it could be one video, go to place and buy it, right? Because we are real DeFi. We are a place that don't have a lot of centralized exchanges as of now, and we have to explain this stuff. So green candles come, they're more incentivized to figure it out. Maybe the onboarding material will work better. But if we didn't have them, it's just one that you just got to work harder, man. Like I wasn't expecting it. Now that we are, it's kind of a sigh of relief too. But
yes,
who knows what's going to come up in the next few months? I've heard a lot of people talking about exchanges, and maybe the community will fund it once we're not so broke.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have two comments on that because there is a PulseChain Foundation that is being led by numerous people in the community. And I had Bar Chef on a few weeks ago talking about him being having a background in blockchain technology regarding marketing and growth. So that's very refreshing to see. And I'm also in that Telegram, just really looking and seeing what they're doing, how they're doing it, because it's very interesting to see. And I do want to ask you this, because this is where my centralized model comes. Thank you so much, Damian Wade. $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm looking for PulseX to hit it now. I agree 100,000%, brother. I'm a big fan of PulseX too. I've been critical about it. I agree. very much so, and it's because I care. And Johnny, you make a good point about the valid reason for not having limits set up yet. Iceberg sell can't hold the price down. Weak hands are paying the slippage hard. That makes good sense. And in the meantime, there are other protocols that have limit orders. I know Omnis and Tetra has limit orders, which is great to see. And I do want to bring this up because, you know, this is where RHMax, this is where my argument was that centralized exchanges were necessary, especially this cycle. So the Bitcoin ETF being approved, I felt like the pendulum of the narratives would be centralization over decentralization in this cycle, whereas last cycle it was decentralization, DeFi masquerading as DeFi. So that's where my concern came in because of the fact, because of the fact that if this was going to be a quote unquote boomer bull run, because centralized exchanges would enable them to get in, well, it would make sense then to follow that narrative. But I do want to ask you then, with the Bitcoin ETF now being approved, are you surprised the Bitcoin ETF did not cause massive price appreciation for Bitcoin? I mean, we've been waiting on this shit for 7 years.
I don't know. I didn't really expect much to happen other than, I guess, there's two things. There's two ideals I can hold in my mind. So there's one where, hey, like, why are ETFs a big deal in the first place? Like, it gives exposure for people, institutions with financial advisors and otherwise, like, traditional finance, to get exposure into crypto. We've all heard the narrative, hey, if you just put 1% into Bitcoin, it would, go to the moon, all this stuff. And that is, what an ETF can do. That's the power it has. It can let a lot of big money place their bets, even a small amount of their portfolios or clients' portfolios, into financial products that have exposure to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin price can do things. So that's why anyone was excited in the first place as far as like price appreciation goes. The other part of that is, have the institutions captured Bitcoin? That's the hard part. It's like, man, this is the OG. This is the peer-to-peer cash. This is the Satoshi coin. This is like to libertarians near and dear to their heart. Is this still that coin? Is it still going to be free, or is it going to get less free to use now that that's happened? And that could be applied to all the crypto and stuff too. So that's one idea. It's like, okay, well, there's definitely a bull case for the price to go up. And then there's the other case of, isn't it always a sell? Isn't there always selling after some big event? It feels like, no matter what, whether it happens immediately or afterwards, I feel like there's always, especially, Bitcoin went from whatever, 15, 18K all the way up to 40, 46, 45K or whatever it was, had the SEC fake out on the hack Twitter and all that stuff. It went up a lot, and there's conversions going on. There's a grayscale thing, and they're like, people taking profit. So there was a lot of reasons why people could sell it too. And after it went up, actually on hack tweet, I tweeted out too. I was like, hey, do you still think this is a sell the news event? Because when it was announced, it went up 3K, went from 45 to 48, and then, went back down after everyone figured out it was fake. But I guess there's always a case, especially if you look at the Bitcoin chart the past year, a lot of people made money. There's institutional products that are switching stuff around. And otherwise, I could see it both ways. I could see the extreme bullish case and the short-term bearish case. And then you got the halving coming up. If you believe in the cycle theory, there's all this stuff around, okay, well, it doesn't really kick off till the halving. And up until then, historically speaking, there's all this chop and all this stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it. So the reason, or I would say that if you're not excited because the price didn't go way up after the ETF, I would say maybe you're having a short-term view of things. Because if you go back to the theory that if 1% of all the wealth managers in the world have their clients' portfolio in Bitcoin, for example, if that's the ETF that's approved and available at the time, and these people are, again, they're in traditional finance. They're not degens in crypto. They don't just, oh my God, I got to do the thing immediately. I got to put all my client's portfolio in this. Like, no, they're going to. Well, what would you do? Imagine them. You're going to talk to your clients over time after you're comfortable with it, first of all, and you're going to say, okay, well, there's this product, it's went up over time. People can use it against a hedge, this and that, all this stuff. So yeah, I think a short-term view would be like, oh, it should go to the moon now. But like, why? Why would it go to the moon immediately? There's no reason why it would. Like, why would Why would everyone, even if you get trillions of dollars moving into Bitcoin, why would they eat all the slippage? Why would they, is there even enough to even buy it? You know, there's all these factors that go into it. So
It's a good point.
Kind of a narrative. It's kind of a narrative that Bitcoin should go to the moon after ETF. Now, long term, like why would there's a lot of factors that could make price appreciate. Like why wouldn't it? That sort of thing. That's kind of consensus, at least not financialized. But short term, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that kind of played out the way that it's supposed to play out, you know, with all the facts on the ground.
Absolutely. And all I want to say too is also, you know, thank you so much for the $7 super chat. That Pulse player. Just think of how cool the next Hex Rewind is going to be after all this stuff the last years. Oh, I agree. This has been one hell of a 2 years. Oh, a hell of a 2 years. So I agree. Thank you so much for that super chat. Sparky, thank you so much for that. Guys, there is 160 people in here, and that's not even including Twitter because I just been too lazy to check Twitter. Guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to go in the description of the video and follow RHMax on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to RHMax YouTube channel as well. He puts phenomenal content out there. He puts like, you know, a shitload of videos up a day. He's doing a great job onboarding people. Robert Online, thank you so much for the 5555 super chat. Thank you very much. That really does
Robert,
help.
appreciate that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, Robert's great, man.
Shout out to you.
He's been very generous. Thanks to both of you. Great interviews from Corey and great support on the validators, among other contributions from RHMax. Keep it up, gentlemen. Robert, thank you so much for that. That really does help me. So thank you very, very much. So I guess because I don't want to keep you that long. My question to you is where do you foresee us, not price-wise, because no one can predict that. Where do you foresee us going? Again, not price-wise, but community-wise, Richard, just in general, by the halvening. Like, where do you see this ecosystem? Because we're seeing things really bounce back really fucking fast.
I think maybe I'll paint it in a couple of different scenarios. So there's one scenario where, you know, we are still correlated, maybe crypto broadly just chops sideways or goes down a little bit, or people take profits or whatever it is. I think there's a lot of broke people out there that they're tired of being broke. They want to make some money.
Of course.
A lot of money on the sidelines for, you know, different companies, institutions, all this stuff too. So I think people in general, at least I feel, again, not financial advice, I feel like the world, the Western economy, the you know, we've been beaten down a lot and there's a lot of money out there. So people need to invest it at some way at some point, right? So like, why not now? Like why isn't this a good time? That could play into world events. That could play into, you know, bearish macros, stuff like that. I'm not seeing a lot of that, at least, you know, I'm no expert in anything. But I think one scenario is, you know, we're correlated. We kind of move with broader crypto, whatever. We're still sensitive to macro events and things kind of just, you know, the community's excited. We still have our whales here and they're doing cool stuff, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's a waiting game still. I think maybe that's one scenario.
Yes.
As far as the community growing and, you know, all that stuff. The other scenario is we're not correlated and we have benevolent whales who are tired of seeing their community hurt, and they want to make sure that all the weak hands. Again, if you're still here, I would not call you weak-handed. A lot of stuff happened. So if you're still here hanging out and being positive, then maybe that's maybe you were meant to be here because everyone else, you know, that wasn't left or otherwise went to other projects and things like that. So the other scenario is we grow in a lot of different verticals. Especially the community is happy again. A lot of people come back streaming and creating content, and there's just a sense of, hey, we made it. We made it through the thickest FUD, the thickest, worst bear crap you've ever seen in your life. We made it through, and now it's glory time. And, you know, momentum, we see stuff on the bridge going up, like stuff like that, or we see, you know, people keep bridging stuff over. The entire ecosystem basically does a 180 because of just people who have skin in the game wanting to go promote these things. And each and every person out there can do that. How much they're doing it, I don't know. How much effect they can have, none if you don't try, right? So To me, it's always been about, I said this on the other day. It's like, in a sea of uncertainty, the best thing I can do is place my bets accordingly.
Yes.
I can look at what's out there. I can choose the products I like, and I can go spend my time, money, energy, making sure they not only survive, but they thrive. If we got a few friends who want to help us out here, who are on our side and want to make sure glory is achieved, that's something we'll find out. Maybe even this year. We'll see.
Very well said. I think right now, like, I am kind of in like a disbelief type stage, because like I will sit here and say, for the 7 years that I've been in cryptocurrency, it has been, the last 2 years have been very, very difficult to hold, and I haven't sold. It's been very difficult. I'm not going to lie. Like, there has been fortitude. If you're still here, you, me, it was very difficult. And like being able to withstand that is people will say, that, again, not financial advice, people who will say that an individual is lucky for what they've achieved. I never would get insulted from that, but given the shit that we've had to go through the last 2 years and all the streaming we've done, even though like we've been called, all the things in the book, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And I would be genuinely insulted if anybody said that. So
yeah,
guys,
I don't believe you. I don't believe in luck. I believe you make your own luck. Like, if you stay at something long enough, you will find it hard to not be lucky. What other people see as lucky, it's just you putting in the work and time and effort, putting yourself in a good situation to be sensitive to opportunities that are good for you. That's all. I think that's a better definition of luck than most people have. Most people think about, at least.
And we also had like Matty Allen's conference, and all of this culminated when Matty Allen's conference started, or at least we started realizing it.
Dude, it's been a whirlwind the last week. Like last weekend, when everything kicked off, you had the motion to dismiss. It was just amazing. Again, if anyone hasn't read that, please go and read the docket. Go read the motion to dismiss. It is a beautiful piece of work, and it should be from, we got Richard over here with like Elon Musk, all your guy, and like all this stuff. He's got a squad. That with the Hex conference going on, and then the whale news and stuff. It was just, I don't know, like, was the last weekend the greatest weekend ever as far as news for ecosystem? It could have been.
I would dare say that this triumphs even PulseChain launching. In my opinion,
I've been trying to compare. I've been thinking of events happening in the last couple of years, and I'm like, man, PulseChain launch was amazing, but it kind of, after a month, well, I guess we'll see. Again, we're only a weekend. Don't jinx it, Corey. I'm knocking on wood right now. Like, we're only a weekend, but if we continue this trajectory, I think PulseChain launch is going to make a lot more sense than it used to. You're going to feel a lot better about this thing you waited a long time for coming out than you used to.
Well, the sentiment proves its point, right? proves its point right now. I mean, this is the most amount of people we've ever had on a stream. Right now, there's 100, based on my StreamYard, 190 people watching. And we're not even considering, if I look at Twitter right now, just for shits and giggles, there's 15 people watching. So there's over 200 people watching right now. So
Johnny Chaos, the motion is a masterpiece. The complaint was written in crayon.
there you go. Amazing. No, and it's amazing because all the content creators, all the big names, we're all here. Johnny Chaos, RHMax, a bit Hex is here. Who else is here that's big? Two Spookies here. All these other big names that I may have missed. So please don't be offended. Vibra Finance is here. So, it's fantastic. It's fantastic to see. And all I can implore you guys to do Finbear is here. All I can implore all of you guys to do is take advantage of these green candles. And what I mean by that is use your words, use your tweets, use your Twitter, use your Telegram, whatever the hell you have, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. Utilize this run to introduce people to this ecosystem, and do that in a way that's extremely benevolent in a way. Please consider doing that. And guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to go in the description and follow RHMax on Twitter. He has done so much for this ecosystem. Subscribe to his channel on, of course, on YouTube. We try to do this once a month. guys, I implore you guys to subscribe to his channel. Get him to 10K subscribers. My Life is Awesome is here as well. Thank you so much for everyone who donated through Super Chats in the channel. You guys are awesome. That really does help the channel. RHMax, did I miss anything? Is there anything that I forgot?
That's it, man. I think, yeah, today's been a super exciting day. Like every day for the past week, it's just been, I've been streaming. I've been getting up early, a little bit, not trouble sleeping, but just excitement. Like, oh, wow. I'm already excited when I get up to start the day because I got, cool stuff to do and hang out and to search for and bring people information stuff, just like you there. Yeah, it's been amazing. And I chose the Red Bull background for a reason. Not just because it goes really well with your colors and my shirt, but because I'm having a little bit of baby FOMO myself right now, and I'm trying to keep it under control. But hey, would you rather FOMO in at the top or FOMO in near the bottom?
The bottom.
I'm not saying where we are, but I don't hear anyone calling tops right now in this ecosystem. So, I'm going to place my bets accordingly.
I agree. That's why, like, even though I've been complaining and pissed off, like, that doesn't mean that, like, I wasn't going in the bottom. I think that no matter what project you're in, if you really believe in the solidification of the community, the marketing of the community, the DeFi or the CeFi, growth, whatever project it may be, whether it's crypto or not, you place your perspectives accordingly. And I really am I'm in disbelief for what I'm seeing, and it's really nice to see. And RHMax, as always, I'm sure we'll have a great one on your channel next month. And guys, like I said, there's 200 of you in here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to follow RHMax on Twitter and YouTube. I have his links in the description. Thank you for all those who donated to the Super Chat thingies. And you ready for that elbow?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
The elbow is here. Give me 1 second. My foot is stuck and it's asleep.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, hold on. I'm almost there.
5, 5, 5, 5.